What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we got another HCC ride for you. This is the Thursday ride. So this group rides every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Takeoff is 7 a.m. from Black Point Marina. It's a pretty good training ride. Not too many guys come out here, although today was a pretty big group. About 20 of us showed up today, and we ripped it, man. It was a 23 point some average ride, so it was pretty fast. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Coming into this first corner, I am just sitting back right now. The group is getting organized. Got the guy in the yellow black just touching everybody. I don't know if he was what was he doing, man? I don't know. But anyways, so coming down this straight, this is a tailwind section. I felt like I had some legs today, and I wasn't, I guess you could say, too happy with the speed at the moment. And I just wanted to form a break. Last Tuesday, if you saw my previous video, a break went off straight from the start and stayed away. And I figured if I was able to draw a few guys out with me, it'll be able to stick. But unfortunately, no one went with me. So you'll see here, I move over to the left. Originally, I thought the guy in the Somi kit, the white kit, was going to attack, and he just sat up. So I'm going to go ahead and get in a nice little aero position here and try to establish a gap. Eventually, I get brought back. No one really decided to join the break with me. So I'm just going to sit up and wait to get caught. So fast forward a little bit. We're headed into this little crosswind section. But I just wanted to point out a crucial moment in today's ride. Pay attention to the guy in front of me in the blue bike. There's a point right here that it actually slows down, and he's crossing wheels with Choppy, the guy in the orange bike in front of him. And they had to make a quick little reaction. You see how he almost touched wheels? And that is no bueno, man. You shouldn't be crossing wheels. Always try to keep a nice little gap from the rider in front of you, just to play it safe. Too many accidents happen like that, and they're easily avoidable. So fast forward again, we're headed on this headwind section, about to finish the first lap, and if you look up front, you can see Vic just ripping. So he takes advantage on this turn, everyone's slowing down, and he's going to go ahead and punch it. He's going to cause us to panic a little bit just because we know he got the legs. And I don't know if you saw in the front, but the other guy in the black and green is also a real strong rider, and he broke away with Vic. So I was pretty far back in this train, and I'm doing a nice little effort to move up, but I can't close that full gap myself. So I try to slide in this guy's wheel in front of me in hopes of him being able to go and close that gap. So we got Super P leading the chase, and Super Pete just didn't have it in him right now. So he's going to take over. I'm just going to continue to get this guy's draft, let him work as much as he can. And right now, I'm in a bad position. I should have been all the way far right, getting the most benefit from the draft as possible. But instead, I was to the left of him and not getting the best draft. The wind is coming from my left, so I'm not sheltered either. And I was hurting a bit. So I begin to drop back. That's when Johnny comes in front of me. And I just hold on, hoping that these guys can bring back Vic and we can get the group back together and continue to rotate. So they put a solid effort here. I'm hurting. And eventually we were able to bring back Vic. He checks back, sees we're there, and he'll just sit up. The group will get a little bit disorganized, and we'll be able to come into this next turn. So back on this tailwind section, we're just going to go ahead and rotate here. Rotate pretty nicely to the next turn where the party slightly begins, you know? So we'll take this third corner. will begin to get organized again. And if you take a look, Super Pete is just going to go ahead and slingshot right. So there he goes. The guy in the orange and the green, the green and the black, I'm sorry, got right on his wheel, begins to take a pull. I saw this as a threatening move just because of who was attacking. Those three guys right now in the front all have legs, and they could definitely stay away. Like I was saying earlier, this is one of these rides where you just want to get the most out of it. So I'm going to follow every single move that goes. I'm going to attack when I have to, and I'm going to make the most out of them. So we'll go ahead and rotate a little bit here. Try to get a gap from the group, but just not enough. It was a pretty fast ride today. The average was definitely higher than yesterday. Today was 23.4, so it was fast. Pete will go ahead and flick me through. I'm going to take the front here and take a nice little pull. And I wanted to point something out. So knowing who you're riding with is very important. The guy that's about to come through right there, he knew I had done a nice little effort to get on Pete's wheel, and he knows I'm a bit tired. I didn't take the longest pull, so when I flick him through, he just took off on me. There was no way I was gonna be able to close that gap. So right here, I try to close this, but I couldn't. So I flicked the next guy through, and I'll eventually just hop right back on the end of this train. So fast forward a little bit more, and we're coming into the end of the second lap. So remember on the first one, my boy Vic right here in the black kid in front of me, he attacked right here in the same corner. He's going to go ahead and do it again. Thankfully, I was up towards the front, so I was able to follow this move. I see that Super Pete in the red kit, he goes ahead and does a nice little effort. So I realize I can just sit back on his wheel and have them do the work to try and close that gap. The young buck right in front of him will actually put in a nice effort to close this. He's going to go ahead and flick Pete through. And you see right now, I'm struggling, man. Vic got us going from left to right, trying to chase him down. And I'm barely able to hold on here. I'm hurting. I have no other words for it except this sucks right now. But this is a training ride in which you got to put your best effort out there every time. If you get dropped, you get dropped. But do those efforts. They're going to pay dividends in races. I promise. So we're actually able to bring back Vic here. Vic realizes the group is right behind us as well. So he's just going to sit up. And coming into that next turn, this is where I begin to get a little tired and almost make a big mistake. So I had to close this gap because Pete couldn't close it. And I have a nice tempo going right now. So I feel like I'm just going to pass these guys. They're going a little too slow for my liking right now. And since this is the final lap, I'm trying to ramp up that speed and get everyone as tired as possible as we go into that final sprint. So I'm going to go ahead and take this front. I'm going to take my pull. But then if you see the guy coming in on the left of me, he actually goes a little bit too fast. And I thought he was attacking. And again, I'm going to do every effort I can, attack when I can, close every gap I can, and try to go with every break possible. So I thought he was trying to form a little break here, so I go with him right after I took my pull, and that was the worst decision I did. I should have flicked the guy behind me through, had him close that gap, and hop back on that wheel, and I actually almost got dropped right here. Worst place to get dropped, on the tailwind section of the final lap. So they're coming in hot behind me, and I'm hurting. Thankfully, the group actually slowed down, and I was able to hop back on. But I kept looking back, and I realized the last guy is getting closer and closer to me, and I don't have that little effort to hop back on. But thankfully, like I said, the group slowed down, and I was able to get on the back. Fast forward a bit, we're coming into this third turn, and I wanted to bring this up because you want to make effortless moves whenever possible. Right here, everybody's slowing down to take this corner, so I actually didn't have to put such an effort. I might have even been free pedaling at some points, and I was able to move up a few spots. Coming into this crosswind section, it's gonna begin to get a little bit hectic as we're lining up to make that final turn into the headwind section and get ready for the sprint. So I'm still trying to stay in the front because I figure maybe a break can go from this position. It's not too far, so if a break does go, it might just stick. And sure enough, we got the guy in the green and black kit. He takes off. The young buck in front of me has the legs and takes off with him, and I clearly just didn't. So I try to close that gap, but I can't. Flick the guy through. They'll go ahead and close that gap, and I'm just going to slide in and try to recover before that last turn into the headwind and get ready for the final sprint. I also wanted to mention right now, my boy Vic right there to the left in that black Velo kit, he sees this as an opportunity to go, and he does. Johnny is able to go with him. He stayed on his wheel, and this drew out the rest of the attacks. So I'm already pretty tired here. Almost got dropped on the last straightaway. I did a nice little effort to try and close that gap, but I couldn't. So I'm just trying to hold on here. I'm sitting in, trying to move up when I can, get into a better position as we come into this final corner. And so here we are. Headwind section, and things are going to start to break apart here. This was not an organized sprint at all. It was just hectic. Everyone's trying to go as fast as they can here and just drop everybody. See who had the legs to stay at the end. And we're just going to fast forward again here. And sure enough, Vic takes this opportunity to go as well. And so I try to play smart here. I realized this guy in the Somi kit was going to go with him. And again, if someone else is willing to make that effort, you slide in right behind them and let them close that gap. But I gave him too much distance, and now I'm getting distance myself. So this guy comes through. I'm trying to slot in whenever I can. And now that I'm in this position, towards the front of the group, not many people behind me left. I'm going to try to close this and recover as much as I can, but there really isn't too much time. So we're about to line up. Everyone's going. I let this guy through, try to get on his wheel, and as you see, everyone's already dying out. This guy's gone. This guy in the Somi kit is gone too, and I'm just holding on. This kid has some legs, man. He's 17 years old. We're all 20s, and most of the guys there are in the 40s and 50s. So the fact he's able to hang on here, and not just hang on, but attack and do these types of efforts is just crazy, man. So this was the end of it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon next time. Peace.